My name is Christopher Kinnear. My number for the event is 1624.
My name is Walker Pierce Percy, and the number is 1692.
Tom Boyle, B-O-Y-L-E. Bib number is 1514.
John Boyle, number 1257.
I'm slowly drifting to you.
We are here in Lake Tahoe, California, getting ready to do the Ironman, the first ever Ironman in Lake Tahoe.
Stars and planets are calling me. A billion years away.
My personal goals on this one is just going to be to finish. I don't really have a timeline that I'm really looking for. Just going out, having a good time, getting to the end, and then enjoying it with the rest of the boys.
I'm on my way. I'm on. I'm on.
Walker called me up in the desert. He calls me up and he's like, "Hey, look, I have this Ironman. We're gonna go race." I'm like, I don't know. I told you I'm never gonna do a full Ironman. I'll do a half. Anything with the word half in front of it, I'm game with. And he's like, "No, dude, it's great. It's Tahoe's first one." He's like, "Yo, you call Josh, I'll call Chris." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I'll think about it." And he's like, "No, we gotta make a decision like now because we gotta sign up right away." So I turn around and I'm like, okay, well, might as well think about doing it. And he's like, no, really, these things sell out in like a half an hour. We just got to sign up and go. So I turn around and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm game. Just twist my arm. Okay. And then the next day, we turn around and look at the course and we actually see how hilly it is and everything else. And my cousin calls me up and he's like, why are we doing this one? Have you looked at the course? I'm like, no, I haven't looked at anything. He goes, "This is at 6,000 feet elevation." I'm like, "Yeah, you think I would know that from skiing up here last time?" Well, just didn't happen. So it was all because of Walker.
So he is to blame.
Oh, he's totally to blame. And I will be yelling at him the entire swim, the entire bike, and the entire run. I will be trying to chase after him. It's a good thing he's quicker than I am.
Just be online looking at the Ironman website, and sure enough, they're like, "We're having the first one we've had in California in 10, 11 years, and they're doing it in Tahoe." And we used to have a ski cabin up here when we were all stationed down at Travis Air Force Base, and so I was like, "We gotta do this one." So I just started sending out emails. Didn't really look at the course before we actually signed up, but it kind of popped up, and they fill up pretty quick. So got the word out to these guys and kind of goaded them into it. So
Everything is competitive with us. I mean, to cracking jokes. I mean, everything that we do, it's got an underlining. I don't know that it defines our friendship, but we're always trying to push each other. And I think that's what makes us as good of friends as we are. That we share so much in common, but that allows us to push one another and make each other better. So I think that our friendship is really strong as a result of that. it's the longest distance that is kind of a common race that you can find everywhere, and people know what it is, and it's a challenge. It's one of those things that it's you always tell yourself, I can't do that, and the only way that you're ever going to do it is to say that you're going to and show up and do it. So that's why we're here doing the Ironman. I mean, you'll see some of the emotion tomorrow. People just battling themselves, and you'll see guys like me crossing the line at 16:30. As happy as the guys that cross at 8 hours and 15 minutes. And that's one of the great things about the Ironman in particular. It's about you and the course and battling yourself. So.
So when did you sign up? Was it almost a year ago by now, or?
Oh God, it was probably 14 months ago. You'd think I would have started training back then, but it didn't quite happen that way.
When did you start training?
Oh, about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is like a standard training routine for you, and like on a given Saturday? Let's say you have a Saturday.
A given Saturday is going to get up, either run or bike. I do one of the two, and then usually go into. I take a break for the middle of the day for a couple hours, and then do a long swim, a mile and a half swim at night.
I mean, I have a daughter now, and so that definitely didn't allow for the same amount of training time that I had before. And then just the course here is a whole different. Phoenix was relatively flat, and Tahoe's, we're doing something like 5,300 feet elevation gain on the bike, and then Lake Tahoe swim. We don't know what that's going to be like tomorrow with the weather getting so cold. So for me, I would love to say it's old hat, but it's not. I think every Ironman anyway is kind of a new challenge, and anything can go wrong tomorrow. New variables can pop up at any given time, so it's kind of tough to say it's just old hat in a game.
I'm active, and it's always a struggle between how do you stay active and find something that's interesting and fun to do and engages you. And for me, training for a particular sport, whether it's running, swimming, or biking, or whatever it may be, gets boring. So triathlons give me an opportunity to train for all three of those sports, and it allows me to change things up. I can mix things together, and gives me an opportunity to stay healthy, get out there and do some things, and obviously a competitive nature. It's how we ended up here. The four of us, and that we all end up. It was basically peer pressure that got us here to this particular event. But it's great because it gives you a chance to do different things and keep it interesting.
The last month or so, it's a pretty specific diet of rice and chicken and vegetables, and you really don't vary too far from that. The reason for that is that you really only eat what you need. So in order to get the most out of your output, your production, you really need to have a very consistent diet. So chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice?
I took a trip out to Kenya, and I learned how to live as the runners do and to eat as they do. And it really was a turning point in my diet. So that's something that I've in the last 3 months tried to introduce into my real life back at home. I went out there for a running camp, and I was out there for 3 weeks. It was in a small town called Iten, Kenya. And what happens is, in Kenya, if you're a gifted runner, you're invited to go up to this high altitude training center, which has a number of different athletes that live all over the place. They all pretty much train together, and they compete against each other on a very regular basis. So internationals, myself, and everybody else from all over the world would come in and try and live as they do, eat as they do, and run as they do. which is a very humbling experience to say the least. But it gave me a good opportunity to see what some of the top athletes in the world do and how they do it. And while I was out there, I was also able to do some volunteering at some of the schools. It was a pretty remarkable trip, you know.
Beautiful day for an Ironman.
That's right.
Hey buddy.
How you doing?
Doing good. How's it going out there?
Oh, it's good.
Right on.
Good day.
Keep it going. We're just gonna be right here with you, okay?
All right. We're almost 80 in.
You're killing it, man. You're killing it.
Absolutely, nerves. It's the unexpected. We're tossing a lot of things together that we haven't in the past. Altitude, the cold weather now. It's going to be below freezing when we get out of the water. So that's really something. The amount of climb on this particular course and where they are. A lot of unknowns going into this race. So we're apprehensive for sure, yeah.
For me, I've always loved the swimming and the biking. And those are probably what I'm the best at as far as the three go. Tomorrow's definitely going to be a challenging bike. But it's funny, for this one, I feel that my run has actually gotten a lot better from the previous ones. And so I'm really anxious and excited to see what I can put down once I get off that bike.
My favorite part is absolutely the running. The swimming I've always been okay at, and the biking for some reason I've been gifted at. Meaning that I don't have to put in the same amount of time that other people do to come out with a fairly average bike time. But the running I really do enjoy. And I've searched through a lot of different hobbies growing up, from wrestling to mixed martial arts to motorcycles to you name it, and I've at least tried it. Most of those sports I do on a pretty regular basis. But running for me always felt like home. It always felt right. And it slowly became a part of my life that I wasn't capable of continuing on without running all the time. So now it's something I look forward to. It's almost a balancing part of my day.
What are you doing after you finish the race?
Oh, eating a whole lot of good food. Hamburgers, cookie dough, sushi, anything I could think of. And having a lot of good beers and wine and all sorts of good stuff. So
It's either going to be a big fat burger or a big fat steak. I'm looking forward to just sitting down and having it in a guilt-free meal. I really don't even have something that's going to be particular, but that it's guilt-free.
Yeah.
We're going to burn on the order of 10 to 12 to 15,000 calories tomorrow. So if we pile down a half-pound burger or a 16-ounce prime rib, it's kind of free.
Cheesecake, that's always my go-to. Specifically like the Adams peanut butter cup cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory. That was
I know Tom is looking forward to his cookie dough. We've been making a joke that we're going to have somebody meet him in the chute with his roll of cookie dough. He's going to come across with that, just chewing on it. So